Hi guys. So my name's Jordan. This
I'm
is Bella. So I'm about 1 year and 6 months on testosterone now. Bella and I just got back from Disneyland, 3 days and 2 nights. So that was really fun. Right now we're at my friend Heidi's dorm room because my dorm mates are in my dorm, and we really wanted to make this video, and it's Bella's last night in town, so we wanted to go ahead and make it. So why don't you introduce yourself before I jump into Testopel?
I am Bella. I'm Australian. I'm 23. I'm his girlfriend. My voice is a little bit huskier than usual from all the screaming at Disneyland. We went on Space Mountain 6 times. That's 7. That's 6. 6 times. It was really fun.
Yeah, it was.
And he's gonna talk a bit about his Testopel, but it hurt for a lot longer, like the healing, than we thought it would. So he was actually in a wheelchair.
I was in a wheelchair for part of Disneyland, yeah. But so the Testopel thing was the injection I've been telling you guys about. That's underneath your skin that does the steady release of testosterone over a longer period of time. The procedure for me wasn't fun. I am kind of a baby about stuff like that, but my body definitely went into shock and stuff.
He went like gray.
Yeah, I'm really happy she was there. Otherwise, I feel like I would have been freaking out even more. So I'm still really waiting on to see, if the test well lasts 3 months for me, 6 months for me, because I think it would affect my decision on whether or not I want to keep doing it. From my point of view,
the Testopel was really fun, and he was saying, "Oh, I was baby about it, whatever." It was intense.
I don't like hearing about it.
He doesn't like hearing it. You might want to block your ears, or if you want to wander away for a bit. It was intense. I'm Australian. We can handle some pretty heavy shit. And it was full on.
I can still hear you, and you haven't gotten to the bad bit.
I know quite a few. It was a local, not a general. He had to have quite a few local injections, and one of them, and he delights in telling people this, was shaped kind of like a hook, like it was on an angle like this, which is pretty dramatic. And I'm
no one wants that in their butt.
No one wants that in their butt. And he was saying as afterwards, much to everybody's amusement, pretty funny, that how everybody was making small talk, but really we all know you don't have any pants on.
Oh man,
that was funny when you were telling me so bad. That was the worst. Yeah. Anyway, so that he gave him a bunch of local injections, and he's like, "Oh, this is gonna be the hard part." Would you say that was the most painful part overall? No.
Well, maybe. I feel like there was a point where the pain crested, from those injections, and it crested while he was starting part 2, so I was feeling both at one time at one point. That was not the best.
It was bad.
Now numbingness is going through my body, and pellets are also going into my body. A lot of penetration. A lot of penetration. Not wearing pants, a lot of people in the room, a lot of penetration. Not a lot of pants.
Okay, so it was really bad. And then the injecting needle was literally a pencil's width, thickness. And the pellets are actually pretty small, but yeah, that was huge, and that was going to.
And how deep into my skin from the injection side would you say?
Honestly, I was looking hard at your face and not at the needle pencil because I lost my shit a bit, and I wanted.
Alright, well the incision was let's say here, and then I would say the pellets were kind of here, right? And you kind of put 3 separate because the bruising was down here and the incision was there. And what was the thing that they said about the ice baby that would?
Let's talk about this. So, we made some pretty big mistakes.
I ran on it.
He did run in it about 20 minutes after.
Oh, I forgot.
We forgot, and he said, "Let's race across this park," and we did, and he won because it's really fast. But that was a big mistake. Maybe.
I sort of heard afterward. It was the sentiment of that we weren't being conscientious of it. And also, I got my procedure done on the 31st of December. So, or the 30th, yeah. So, but I was happy I didn't get it done on the 31st because honestly, guys, the day you get it, you feel fine, and then I woke up really sore the next day. And like I said, I don't know if that was because of the running and everything, but I'm just really happy I didn't go super hard on the 31st thinking I could, and then wake up on the 1st.
Anyway, so he ran in it, and then we went to the zoo, and that involved a lot of walking and stuff. A lot of walking actually, and
that is true. Didn't think about that. We did go to the zoo the same day.
And did a lot of walking. It was a night zoo trip. That's not really relevant. Anyway, the moral of the story is that the nurse said to us, and in hindsight, I would have done stuff differently. In hindsight, I would have done stuff differently. But in our defense, the nurse said to me, because I said he's right to drive, right? And I'd already called it. Well, actually, this morning called ahead. To find out if he'd be okay to drive in. And she was like, oh, yes. And then she reassured me at the time that after a couple of hours, you know, it'd be pretty much done. There might be a bit of discomfort that night and the next day, but no, it was about a week of pretty full-on pain.
Yeah, it kind of lingers for me, but then again, I wasn't that responsible about it. And she read something online, I think, where the guy was saying he held ice on it for like a straight hour afterwards, and that sort of helped the healing along. So that happened. Yeah, so I mean, you guys can experiment with that, I guess. I can only tell you my experience, and my experience was that unfortunately kind of protracted my healing for like a good 3 or 4 days of it being achy, you know, and not being able to sit certain ways comfortably. But then it sort of mellowed out after that.
And also, we'd been a bit irregular with his shots before.
Yeah.
And the nurse said, or the doctor said, I can't remember, one of them said, that it might be a good idea to have a shot over the next couple of days, which we did do. And that seemed to go pretty well. And
yeah, testosterone level wise, I feel like it probably did even me out, honestly, because I feel like if I hadn't gotten that extra shot, I probably would have felt like the T drop and then maybe even like a T surge. I'm not sure about the surge because apparently they, you know, release pretty slowly, the Testopel pellets. But other than that, my girlfriend and my best friend Valerie have been speculating I might have had another voice drop. So that's possible. My hands also are reputed to be bigger and stuff like.
And your feet.
And my feet. Well, my feet have definitely grown to size. Because I was definitely a 7.5 for a while, and I talked about in my How to Pass video about buying 8s, the size 8 in men's shoes and stuffing the toes, and I don't need to stuff the toes anymore. I'm an 8 now, 7.5. So like.
And actually, his mom was saying that he's growing a bit, which I would know about because we've been LDR for 3 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't really know about his height. I know his hands have gotten bigger.
Yeah, so so that's just kind of it in the way of transitional things, I think, maybe. But I don't know what else you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so Jordan was saying like that I could talk a bit about what it's like to date him.
Yeah, well, like a trans guy, not me in particular. But.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know how old I am. Okay. Yeah, well, I was like, he was saying like maybe I should talk about like the difference in dating a cisgendered guy and a transgender guy, which I was, I thought about a lot when you told me that. I suggested that. I came to the conclusion that honestly there are no differences. The difference is that I need to be aware of some things that I was never aware about before. Like actually the word cisgendered I never knew before, which is kind of intrigued me. But like things like Testopel, what that involves, what are the side effects, what things like that. T-shots.
I mean, I know you were gonna mention your ex that had ADHD and kind of.
So I was gonna say that those are things I need to be aware of, but I don't make that a distinction between dating a cisgender or a transgender person because as John was saying, an ex of mine had ADHD. And I had to be really aware of different things that would trigger him, different things that would calm it down, different medications he might be, like he was on, he might try, things like that. I myself actually have mild Asperger's as well, and that's something that Jordan was really aware of, and he's really thoughtful and stuff about. So I was just I was going to say that I think, I was going to say with any person, but maybe not. Maybe there's some people that, I don't know, really easy and have no things that you ever have to think about.
Like dating someone with no baggage?
No baggage.
No, I don't think it is.
But yes, I just was going to say that I don't think that's, obviously those particular things pertain to a transgendered person, but I think there's different things you have to be aware about whenever you're in a relationship with someone. Other than that, I don't think there's any the best boyfriend I've ever had.
I don't think that has to be with you.
No.
Unless you think I have some sort of feminine sympathy, having been socialized as female.
No.
Maybe that's why I'm so good at sex. Feminine sympathy.
What else? I feel like pronouns. I was going to talk a bit about pronouns.
Definitely.
I'm going to make that a less excitable intro. Okay, so also pronouns is something that is different, I guess. I've obviously, like, I've never dated a cisgender person.
When I ask her to call me she, like, when we're having sex, like, I feel like...
He doesn't do that. No. Yeah, and obviously, like, well, not obviously, I've never dated a cisgendered person that people use direct pronouns with. And people, like, rarely, like, ever in our daily lives mispronounce you.
Right.
But, some of his family members, do mispronounce him sometimes, which is pretty hard. It does suck. I don't feel like, well, yeah, I don't feel like really many of them or any of them do it out of malice.
Not many of them. Yeah,
but
true.
it's still really hard because, I mean, like, if you just think about, I was thinking about it myself, and I was thinking, it would be so strange for me to be mispronounced. Like, and obviously I'm not a transgender person.
It would be annoying, right?
It would be annoying. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. It would be incongruent and annoying.
And inconsiderate, right?
And
like, even if you felt like you would reason to this person to the edge of the earth that you could not convince them that you were female, you'd feel like at the very end of the day, you'd be like, all right, well, clearly we're of very two minds about this, but can you do me a favor and use the pronoun I prefer?
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to.
Exactly. So that's really hard. Some of them are older people, like his grandparents and stuff, which we were actually talking about this today. Like, it must be kind of harder for them. But mostly they're really good, and that's really nice. But that is really hard. I mean, mainly hard for him, but it's hard for me only because it's hard for him. Like, so that's I guess is different. What else?
No, what else?
Cool. So it was really nice to meet you guys. That's sort of what we've got to say about that. You probably won't see me for a little bit because I'm going back to Australia for like 2 months, I think.
Something like that.
So that's gonna suck. But I'll be back, and you'll see me again then. And thanks for having me on the channel.
Welcome, baby. Alright, I'll see all you fools later. I'm just kidding. If you guys are subscribed to me, you ain't fools. You're wisdom walkers. Sages. Alright, bye, guys.